Sorry, guys. I made a mistake there. I forgot to change the stream key before I hit go. So, yeah. It went to Buffalo's channel, and I was like trying to realize why it wasn't showing up on mine. That's right, Skins. I went to the wrong channel. Yeah, you got like 2 points or something, maybe. So yeah, something I've been meaning to do for a long time is go through and work on cataloging my games. Now, that's been something I've wanted to do for a long time, just so I can better keep track of what I've got. And I've never been sold on any particular catalog device that's out there. So finally, PriceCharting.com got a account system with video game collection logging available, and I decided, okay, well, I'll go with that one since that's a site that I use very commonly for checking stuff out. So, very nice to me, etc. Feel free to keep the pitchforks ready. And since it's not the kind of thing I really want to do multiple times or more than once, I didn't want to go ahead and start doing it for any website and then feel like, because I actually got started with a few just to try them out. I was never happy with the process, so I figured it's probably best that I just end up going through and just do it by system. And I figured I may as well stream doing it under IRL stream, just in case anybody would find any interest in that or have nothing better to do themselves, or just maybe want to have a look at what I have in my collection. No, just physically stuff, more or less. I mean, technically I'm only mostly concerned about physical. I usually only download stuff that is download only, so I'm not too worried about that. It has more to do with like when I go to the store and I don't necessarily know what games I have and what I don't have sometimes. And it's happened before that I bought stuff that I already own, and that's always a pain. Exactly. I don't think they're going to be on this site, though. But I should be able to get in a lot of stuff. Alright. So I figured I'd start with this section over here. I have my stuff cataloged. Pretty much all my video games are in this room. There's a couple strays that are out there, like the ones I have on the Iron Man gaming shelving. I got to make sure I don't forget about those. And I might have a few that I've pulled out to play at various systems, so I got to make sure I get those too. But generally everything is organized by system and then alphabetical. So I feel like it's probably best if I just start here, work my way through, and then just go from there. I mean, it's really just up to the person. Physical games only die for probably people who don't have that place in them that they like to collect physical things. Hey, Namus, how's it going? I personally like to collect physical things. So, for me, it makes much more sense to... I mean, I like it. I've got... I know other people that aren't that way. And they prefer to do the download thing, which is great. I have multiple copies. Well, which Killer Instinct are you talking about? Destroyer of Worlds. Too many optical drives to kick the bucket. Well, a lot of the stuff isn't necessarily optical drives, but yeah, I haven't had too many problems with systems dying on me, but that's always an issue. I do have some spare systems as well. SNES and Xbox. So if you're talking about the Xbox One version of it for Killer Instinct, the newer one, I've got 2 physical copies of that, actually. And I do have the SNES one, and I do have the N64 one as well. Alright, so starting with Wii U, everybody's favorite, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. This game is well worth it. Game, I'm pretty sure I threw away, well, I've got the box. I don't think it really has a manual, but I need to check that so it's considered as complete. And I'll put other bought with the Amiibo pack, but threw away the large box. It all came in. There's some about, like, just collecting stuff. I just enjoy it. It's more of a, it's as much as a hobby as it is playing. And although I've kind of hit a point where I'm particular about what I'm getting nowadays, and that I don't have the space to keep going. So Animal Crossing, yeah. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, everybody's most hated Animal Crossing related game. Bayonetta 2, add to collection, game box manual, other, just a note, this is the original run with the dual Bayonetta 1 and 2 included. I like that I can put notes in. I'm just going to consider most things as normal wear unless it's sealed. Yeah, it was pretty much what Inhuman Beatdown said. But I will say that there is an aspect to... I did stream some Bayonetta 2, actually, Destroyer of Worlds. Funny you say that. One thing I will say about Amiibo Festival that nobody ever talks about. I think nobody actually took the time to play it an extra time to find out that there's built-in mini games in there that you can purchase. And for anybody who's a big Animal Crossing fan, if you get in there, they have like this game show trivia version of Animal Crossing that you play, and they give you different things about the game in the past, and you play basically a trivia game about Animal Crossing. And if you enjoyed Animal Crossing before, then chances are you might like that. But I've never heard anybody talk about that whenever they review the game or talk about how terrible it is. Captain Toad. Gotta love when loose is more than complete. Game box manual, normal wear, nothing fancy. Oh yeah. Of course. And this one I believe is sealed. Of course I had to get a copy of Devil's Third because I'm a fool. Seen the game, so I had no idea. Kind of cool. Kind of shame. Yeah, well, they're trying to make you play to unlock some stuff. And, I mean, some of the little extra mini-games aren't the worst thing in the world. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, if making videos about games are still a thing, that someone might go back and actually check that game out as it's like the worst Wii U game ever. And they might actually cover some of that and say, you know what, maybe this wasn't the stupidest thing ever. Although they probably would still say that. Alright, what's next? Donkey Kong, and then Kirby. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, Normal Wear. And then I've got Kirby. Kirby is completely out of order. H-I-J-K. By completely off by one. Hyrule Warriors, and then Kirby. Gamebox manual, normal wear. And then H-I-J, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Gamebox manual, normal wear. Subject bad games that need to crack open your copy of Ride to Hell. I've watched videos on it. No Hello Kitty Cruisers. Although there's Hello Kitty Cruisers right there, which is apparently a rare game for $133. It could be yours. Complete if you were into that kind of thing. Although I tend to not collect stuff that's bad for the sake of bad and pay high prices for it. I'm more than happy to collect expensive games if they're good, but usually not if they're bad. If it's a game that I really would never want to play, I generally don't collect it. There's a few exceptions to that rule, but I try to stick to it for the most part. Hey, Pinball Live, how's it going, man? Alright, what do we got next? Legend of Zelda's. Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker. And they have these under T for the, Z for Zelda. They do. They just call it Zelda. That's fine. Breath of the Wild, new and sealed. And remove the meter. Twilight Princess. What it takes. Game box, manual, new sealed. Dub Cyber. Didn't have the special edition. I don't even know if I knew there was a special edition. Unless the special edition's one included the amiibo, which I probably bought that actually. That's fine. Collection. Gamebox manual, normal wear. Hey, Crushing It, how's it going, man? I think so. I like the idea of doing it. I like the idea that at the end of the day, I'll have something I can reference in case I need to. And it's relaxing. Nice, Crushing It, nice. Alright, we got that one in there. That's also another thing that comes up. It's like, they call it Z for Zelda. I personally would not. Actually, let me see this. Oh, the special edition, okay. You know what? That's what I bought. But that's fine, that's whatever. Because technically I added the amiibo separately, I didn't add it in. Alright, Lego City Undercover, Lego Dimensions. Lego City Undercover. Collection. Normal wear. Lego Dimensions Starter Pack. Collection. Game box manual. Normal wear. Alright. What else? Mario Kart, Mario Party. Good lord. Mario Kart 8 Limited Edition. What the hell was it? Ah. I guess that was the system. Mario Kart 8 collection. Game box, manual, normal wear. CSGO keeping you down. Is Lego Dimensions any good? I mean, you know what you're gonna get if you get Lego Dimensions. Think of it that way. You're gonna get a Lego game, which is gonna play just like almost every other Lego game, and it's gonna have a ton of different franchises that you know you're gonna enjoy, and if you can accept that, you're gonna enjoy it. If you feel like, you know, playing more Lego games is gonna get dull for you, then you already know what you are gonna feel about it. It's no worse than what you would expect it to be. Yeah, I bought the bundle. Although there's no complete price there, and I already would have put him in separate. So I'll just back that up. I'll just do regular Mario Party 10. Another victorious buy, as I'm a sucker for Mario parties. Yeah, I mean, I bought the Gremlins pack because Gremlins is one of my favoriteest things ever. I mean, that's how they kind of sucked me in. It's like, yeah, we've got tons of franchises that I really enjoy. So, of course, I'm going to get sucked into wanting to get it. NES Remix Pack, Nintendo Land. I should play the Remix Pack online sometime as a stream. That'd be fun. It's a fun game. Nintendo Land. I'll tell you what, for as cheap as they say Nintendo Land is, there's a lot of fun to be had in that game. For $5, that is a lot of value. I'm not going to lie. Which Turtles are you talking about, Pinball Live? I played through Gremlins 2 on NES. Now, obviously, you're in the UK, so you've got a different series of games there. But Gremlins 2, never had it as a kid, but it was a blast, and I really enjoyed it. Paper Mario, Color Splash, still sealed, and Pikmin 3. I gotta play Paper Mario sometime. Pikmin 3. Game box manual, normal wear. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. No, you can't handle the ninjas, I guess. Although you can handle teenage mutants and turtles. So, and I'll just jumping forward. 3 different Turtles games for the NES. There's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that played nothing like what you would think it would. There was Turtles 2, the arcade game, which played a whole lot like the arcade game. And then Turtles 3, Manhattan Project, which was more like Turtles 2. So there were 3 on the NES. Alright, Pikmin 3's in there. What's next? Rayman Legends, Shovel Knight sealed. This is a fun game too. This would be a good one to stream, I would think. Just fun to play. What was it? Shovel Knight. Top-down view, which you could walk between levels, dodging. Okay, yeah, so that would be the first one, Pinball Live. I mean, when I was young, it was fun because that's what just games were. But super hard, like many people in my youth, I couldn't get past the Technodrome. Splatoon, Star Fox. Game box manual, normalware. Star Fox Zero. I guess you click them separately. Star Fox Guard is a lot of fun for it being so low valued. No doubt. That game is a steal at $2. I enjoyed playing that. Star Fox Zero. Steam World Collection, Super Mario 3D. Steam World Collection. Did I get a chance? No, I did not. So that's still sealed. I already owned all these games, but I like the idea of owning a physical copy. These are blast. SteamWorld Dig 2. I'm looking forward to that. What do we got? Super Mario 3D World. Normalware. $13. That's a great deal. Now it's under N, but new Super Mario Brothers U. I need to get new Luigi Brothers U. That was a good game. Super Mario Maker. Smash Bros. Hey, not a problem in Human Beatdown. I'll be here, clicking away. Wonderful 101, Xenoblade Chronicles. Kill. Game's awfully bright. It's a little weird. In the picture, Xenoblade Chronicles, just regular edition. Still sealed because I have no time to jump into that one yet. Yoshi's Woolly World Zombie U. Yoshi's Woolly World. I think I got the bundle, but that's fine. I would have log the amiibos separately once again. Zombie U. Not a bad game either. $6. Not a bad deal. Alright, that actually wraps it up for Wii U games. Keeping it simple. Next, I got X-Bone on the shelf down, so we'll go for that. Alright, what do we got here? Alien, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. Beep, beep, beep. Beep. Batman, Arkham Knight. I don't really know about you, but personally I am feeling super. Not a lot of people on the training. I don't miss the pushing or complaining. Look, it's raining. I don't mind it. I don't pay attention to the climate. Shameless sealed. And then I've got Battlefields. Nothing fancy. We live through. Woohoo! Friends are close family. Battlefield 1. This tiny little part no longer works. And Battlefield Hardline. Bioshock. Dead Rising. 3 and 4. So what? Maybe I should slide this over a little bit. Poking on me. There we go. Less leaning. Alright. Bioshock Collection. That's weird. What's that doing in Xbox One? Get out of here. Ah, it's not alphabetical all of a sudden. What is going on here? All of a sudden it jumps to Minecraft. I think the whole system just broke down. Do it again. There we go. Apparently don't click on that. You play all yours. I don't blame you, Scribble. Alright. Dead Rising 4. Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Disney. I feel like this chair is not going to work out well for me. Let me switch chairs. This is ridiculous. Thanks, Scribble. Now we're talking. Alright, where were we? We were at Disney. Apparently not under Disney, but probably under Fantasia. Music Evolved. Everybody's favorite game right there. Doom, Dragon's Age. I mean, it's okay if you enjoy rhythm games. It's definitely not the worst thing ever. I've definitely played worse. Far Cry 4. Limited edition. Because that made a difference. Gears 4. Alright. Halo Master Chief Collection. I do not have any Dragon Ball games. That is one series I never got into. Halo 5. I have played a little bit, but I've never owned. Mafia 3. Regular old edition. Metro Redux, that was fun. I couldn't tell you why they did it. All I can say is that they came in an unanticipated visit. Completely shattered all our physics. Scattered shadows over every city so that nobody would miss it. Looking up, people Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's a shame it won't keep you right where you left off. There's no collector's edition, just a regular. Mortal Kombat X. Ori and the Blind Forest. Definitive Edition. Overwatch. Origins Edition. I have not even opened it. Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare. Nier Automata, I have not. I've heard good things about that, though. Have you played it? Something you would recommend? Rainbow Six Siege. See if this is under R or T for Tom Clancy. It is under regular. It's just regular edition. Still sealed because I'm terrible. Rare Replay. Third playthrough, really fun on PC. Interesting. Oh, let's see. What should I play next music-wise? Can you guys even hear the music in the background, or is it pretty much only for my own benefit? Need some good background music. What was I gonna say? What was that? Oh, let's see here. We'll do this. Music is fine? Alright, thank you. 6 playthroughs, wow. That is pretty cool. I like the idea of that. That sounds very interesting. Rare Replay, okay. Recore. edition, right? Nothing special about it. I have not opened it. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rare games in my collection? Yes, there are. Well, I mean, I guess it depends what you consider to be rare, or are you saying rare or expensive? They can be two different things, and it depends how rare you're talking about. I mean, there's not a lot of rare or expensive that goes on in the two things I've gone on through so far, but once I hit the Sega Saturn set here, there'll be definitely a few things in there. What kind of gameplay would you compare Nier Automata to, Scribble? Rise, Son of Rome. I still want to play this. I own it because it's interested me. It's supposed to be kind of short, which is appealing to me as well. Alright, Shape Up. Let's hear it for Kinect exercise games. I bet this one's still worth a lot. Surprisingly, it's worth more than I would have expected. This wasn't all that bad. I enjoyed playing it. We got the whole family into it. Sunset Overdrive. I guess I got the day one edition. Does it matter? Ugh, other than having to scroll through again. It's worth less. Awesome. Thief. Then Titanfall 1 and 2. Word accepted. It's a scroll wheel workout. Shitty Final Fantasy 15. I have not played, other than the first and third, aka 6th Final Fantasies, I have not really played a lot in the Final Fantasy realm just because of how long it takes. So if there's another game you can compare that to, feel free to. Titanfall 2. Oh, Watch Dogs. Wolf Among Us, which is amazing. Great game if you haven't played it. You should make that happen. What? Let me quickly throw Rock Band 4 in here because I know I have it in the other room, but not in this room. Actually, I had the Band in the Box bundle. How the hell with it? Actually, still have the box for this too. move. Also believe it. Just my plan. Alright, Wolf Among Us. Actually, we gotta just do Watch Dogs still. Yeah, you bought it. Open world RPG with action fighting. Okay. Like Witcher, perhaps? If this is literally only $3, there's no reason everybody shouldn't be playing this. This is amazing for $3. So good. Wolfenstein New Order, right? Yeah, New Order, not Old Blood. Should probably do these N64 games I have here, even though the N64 section's mainly over there. I'll make you wait a little longer. Alright, so that's it for Xbox One games that I've got there. I might have an extra one somewhere out in the living room that I forgot about. But short and to the point. See, that appeals to me. Like, overly long games, although I can still do some now and again. It's tough to have the time. I mean, like, Zelda, you make the time for that. It takes the time. You don't make it, it takes it. There's something to be said for a game that's short, though. No need for extra filler. You're just in there to the point. You're having a good time. All right, let's go N64 and do these loose carts I've got over here. One cool thing that you can do if you're up for it is this also does allow you to take pictures and upload them to the website. So for something you add in, you can have pictures of like cart and label condition, and but that would take a lot more time for me to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going the simple route here. So these are all loose carts over here. This is overflow. I've got more loose carts on the other side, and so this is starting with Ogre Battle 64. So we're starting a little further down. I also have a bunch of these top labels that I got off of Etsy for all my loose 64 games, which can be handy because I can store them like that and then still see what they are. Obviously a well-known problem. Game. Normal wear. It's good condition, actually. Shall I say no blemishes? Because these are games where it starts to become more interesting to actually post and know the condition of your labels. You know, discs with boxes, it's just not the same. So I'm going to mark this as a no blemishes. And for the most part, I can just read them so I don't have to pull each one out here. So next one's Paper Mario, but I do need to look to see what their condition is. So this is no blemishes. And I've tried to leave prices when I buy games. If I buy them used from my local place, I try to leave the price tags on my games now. I used to take them off. I wish I hadn't. Because I find it interesting to see back what I actually paid for this stuff versus what it's worth. So, game, no blemishes. See, here's where I could just upload a file if I wanted to take tons and tons of pictures. But good lord, that would take a lot of time. And I'm fine with not doing that. This is going to be a pain. Future sci-fi setting. I like the sound of that. And that's for PS4, correct? That's a PS4 exclusive. Pilotwings 64. I believe this is my original copy for when I first got my 64 on the day before it launched. Toys R Us was releasing them like at 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock p.m. the day before it came out, which was amazing. A friend of mine had called me up and told me, hey, I just got my 64, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. Unfortunately, I don't know where the box is, which annoys me because I've literally kept all my 64 boxes growing up. The 64 was the first... and PC, gotcha. The 64 was the first console where it was... I gotta just mark game, no blemishes. It was the first console where I was actually buying games myself instead of... Like NES, Super Nintendo, my brother and I worked together to buy them, or, you know, it would be, you know, do really good in school, or a birthday or Christmas, you get games, you know, get all straight A's on a report card, and maybe we'll go get a game type deal. Things like that. Or a lot of renting games as well. But the 64 was the first era where I kind of had funds of my own. I bought the 64 of my own money. So all the game boxes I kept, and they're all still in really solid condition. So Pokemon Puzzle League. Game, no blemishes. Label's very solid. Quake 2. I should play this again sometime. Or I should play it on PC. No blemishes. I played Quake 2 on PC when I was younger, and I had a really good time with it. It's in my dogs, my dogs, little bad kids. Resident Evil 2. No blemishes. So heavy. Very heavy game. Starting to get tricky here. Alright, Rush 2049. San Francisco, that is. No, that's San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing. Alright, it's called Rush 2049. They just forgot the San Francisco at the top. Interesting. Backhand again. Game. No blemishes. Looks good. Snowboard Kids 2. This has definitely got some writing and stickers on the back. Although I could swap this back out with a cleaner back, since the backs are pretty much interchangeable. Snowboard Kids 2. I could put this on a much cheaper game. Not that this is crazy expensive, but it's $40 for a loose copy. Game. At some point I'll swap the backs out. Writing, stickers. Only on the back, though. I'll put other. Writing and stickers only on the back can be swapped with a cheaper game. It's a good time to have a WWE Raw for $2. Increase the value of this game. StarCraft 64 looks pretty good, no blemishes. Another more expensive game. Almost 50 bucks. And Star Wars Pod Racer. Star Wars Racer. Not the not for resale one. No blemishes. See, I could swap the back for this game, and I would not be too concerned about that. Good old Superman 64. Control F. Alright, what's Control F? Tell me what that is. I'm all for learning new tips that I might not actually know about when it comes to browsing in Chrome. Superman. Game. I think it's maybe a little faded. I'll put normal wear. Slightly faded front label. Opens up fine. Oh, that's a. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, do fine. It's not a bad idea. Super Smash Brothers. No blemishes. Why is that not working? Okay. Oh, because it hadn't loaded up yet. That's why. Alright. Find text on the webpage. I don't know why I wasn't thinking what that was. I should know that. No blemishes. Alright, I'm going to keep these off on the side to make it easier to hold the rest of these. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. The only thing is I got to wait for it to load. And it would seem that scrolling down helps it load. So I'm kind of halfway hosed. No blemishes. Sweet yellow cart. Just gonna go back to scrolling. Turok 3. A little bit of some there, but nothing I can't just wipe off with my finger, so we'll call it no blemishes because it's not actually any problem on it. Yeah, exactly me. That's what I was thinking. It's a good tip, though. If it wasn't for the loading aspect, that would have probably been faster. Alright, Wetrix. Hey, Fugel, how's it going? No issues. AHP. Alright, here's one of my more rare N64 games. Or more expensive, but probably also rare. Alright, Worms Armageddon. Game. Put normal wear. Fine scratch on front label. It's a real tiny line on the front label. I can't deny its existence, so gotta make sure I note it. So Worms would be one of my higher priced 64 games. Destroyer. WCW vs NWO. Thor Eunice. Thor Eunice. Apparently this game used to be owned by Thor Eunice. According to the bottom writing on there. Now you're talking. Now I might take you up on that one. We could do just that. All right, that's WCW NWO. World Tour. Game, not no blemishes. Writing, normal wear. $3. There we go. Now we're talking. See, this is why I stream this. I can get help from you guys to help me to make this move along faster. All right. We got whatever. Stay. WWF No Mercy. Scratches and a big old fat sticker right on the back here. Fantastic. Do you have interest in me moving the viewpoint camera here closer so you get a better view of the games I'm manhandling? Is that of any interest? If it is, let me know, because I just plopped it over there. No Mercy. Game. Scratches and stickers and normal wear. Nothing too crazy outside of that. The front label's actually decent. It's the card itself that's a little scratched up. That's $11? I would not have guessed. Alright, more stickers. Cash Converters is where this one was at some point in its life. Top label not bad for WrestleMania 2000, which is also a pretty decent game. So we've got stickers. That's really it. I'll put stickers in normal wear. And then, last but not least, we got Yoshi's Story. No blemishes, very clean. Hey Zerto, how's it going, man? One of the best wrestling games ever? I'd agree. Buy No Mercy, overpriced European prices, and receiving a cart with a saving bug. That is rough. Got a replacement. Remember back in the day when I used to get it on Genesis, Sonic Reach, Sonic Knuckles? I don't actually have... I don't think I've got either of those, to be honest. And then, Time to See. I don't think this has got it for me. But let's see if they have Sin and Punishment. I've got a complete in-box copy of the Japanese Sin and Punishment, which I did stream once. And the cool thing about Japanese games is the only difference that stops you from playing this on your North American 64 is on the back of the cart, there's notches here and notches here on a US cart. And on, actually, I think I did it with one of these. I think I did it with a Raw. Anyway, the only difference is these notches move inward to a different position so that when you push it into your 64, it won't go in. So you can either A, go into your 64 and break the pegs that stop you from loading the cart, or B, you can just swap the backs out on the game with a North American one and it'll go right in, no problem, which is exactly what I did instead. So let's see if Sin and Punishment is on here. And we're going to reload this to make sure all that stuff that I entered in down there came back in, out of curiosity. And look at that, it's all there, beautiful. I wouldn't have expected any less. Sin and Punishment is not here, so this isn't going to let me put in imports, which is fine. I know I've got it. That's not even the half of it, Zerto. This is just one small little section right here, and I've got another section there, and then I've got more sections in the closet. I can do a little tour of the room if you guys are interested. Since I just kind of have you on a static camera over there. So, and I've got more games sitting on the floor here that have yet to be cataloged. Alright, I can give you guys a quick little tour. If I do go full screen, you got it. That makes a good point. There we go. Turn the music down a bit. Alright, I'll apologize ahead of time for the camera work that you're going to be subjected to here. So this is the entryway to the room right here. I've got a Miss Pac-Man marquee just sitting above the door. This door leads out to the foyer area where to the left is the pinball room that you're more familiar with. So once you enter the room, you come into the room and then this is the view. So I've got one TV station set up over here for what used to be newer consoles, but is now for last generation consoles. I've got two setups over here, which I've got a small couch in the way because I've moved my computer desk sitting next to it. This one is for a few generations back. And then that one is for older generations because I've got the tube TV there. And all my older consoles hooked up to it. And then there's a closet there which is basically holding more games. So to the left of me where I'm sitting is one shelf of stuff. I've got a little touch lamp here that I've just got dangling. Let me get non-glare, some requested artwork of Gordon Freeman, a bunch of little mini pins and some arcades extras there, a few more mini pins sitting on top, a Cyanide and Happiness, a Nintendo Power cover poster. So in this shelving here, I've got Wii U games here, my excess loose N64 titles, a rollover. Then we've got Xbox One titles. Then we've got some Sega Saturn and an import Sega Saturn as well, and then Action Replay for the Sega Saturn. Down another level, we've got PS4 games, which are in overflow mode because they're stacking horizontally above as well, and I've got a little bit of overflow of PS4s here, and then the bottom two rows are all GameCube games, and then I've got some extra overflow games that still need to be put away, more PS4 games that I don't have space for. 3DS game, even more PS4 games sitting over here that I don't have space for. Doing a little bit of a tour of my video game room, pinball, or Inhuman Beatdown. Over to the right, this door leads to a bathroom. So this would be normally a master bedroom because it would have been a first floor master bedroom, but I turned it into a console or video game room. So that door leads to a bathroom, but you can just go to the go into that from the other side through this door and to the right. Right here is a metal DDR pad. Right here is a wooden board game for a game called Crokinole. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but it's kind of like a round board, shuffleboard style game for 2 to 4 people. She is a exactly, Namus. You got to have the right TV for the right game setup. That's why I've got the varied TV styles around the room. She's a fan. She likes what I've done in here. I've rearranged it a few times to be able to add more space to put more games in, but for the most part, it's well organized, stays clean. And the thing I really like about a lot of this is all these, for the most part, nearly every one of these systems on all these are all connected at all times. So I can just walk in and play. It's not a matter of I collect all the systems and they're sitting around and they're not hooked up. And going around and connecting it is really the biggest hang up to actually playing it. So not quite wife, but girlfriend. We live together. We've been living together for over 4 years. So it's much like the same thing. So if I keep going over to the right, and I apologize, let me know if you're having a hard time hearing me because I'm walking further away from the microphone. Just a second. Alright, let me move this. It's all about the having the right amount of space in Human Beatdown. Alright, so over here, and it probably would help if I can see what I'm pointing at. I've got, this is a gift that she gave me, which is pretty sweet. It's a lamp with a nice soft light coming out of it. Question mark block with 2 Mario blocks there. I leave it plugged in to illuminate the artwork underneath. So, artwork underneath is pixelized Mega Man, Boy and his Blob, a hand-painted Earthworm Jim. And then it might be tough to see, but hold on a second here. I apologize for this, but this is going to help me out a lot. Alright. Yay for moving desk. Oh, jeez. Sorry once again. Camera cable getting caught on everything. There we go. All right. Extra original Earthworm Jim art that my brother got for me with tough to really see it. Says I struggle with responsibility. It's I like it. It's like 1 in 50. Earthworm Jim arts. I'm an Earthworm Jim fan. All right. So getting back over to here. So over here I have more of my retro games. Starting at the top with boxed NES games, going through those two, and then loose NES carts there, leading directly into boxed Super Nintendo games, and then going into loose Super Nintendo carts, and then down further at the bottom are boxed N64 games. And then starting over here are loose N64 carts, which bled over to what we just went through a second ago. With a few extra boxes thrown in between to fill in the gaps, like here and here. And over here are Famicom, Super Famicom games, I should say. I have never gotten a chance to go see Video Games Live show. I think it would be cool to see, but I've never had a chance. Grows and grows is more challenging, more of a collecting thing with less time playing, even with pinball. 6-2. I feel your pain, Syrian X. I have the same trouble, which is why I wanted to stream more on my personal channel and hopefully get myself the motivation to play more of my collection rather than just collecting and not playing. That's always one of the big things about getting too deep into collection. That's right, sharp edge SNES carts. It's the way to be. I do have a lot of video games, which is kind of why I want to do more streaming. So, as we go into the closet, which I've converted to more or less all video games. I used to store board games in here as well, but that has since stopped. So going into the closet, I'm going to start by turning left. Hold on just a moment. Turning the monitor so I can see what I'm pointing at, so I'm not just pointing at nothing. Alright. So turning left going into the closet is where I've stored, I've got a poster up here, which is from Walter Day, signed by Walter Day as well. Damn it. Alright, hold on a second. Got cables wrapped around cables. There we go. Signed by Walter Day. Cool Donkey Kong-esque retro poster with a bunch of cool little things going on. Old Guitar Hero 1 guitar signed by MC Frontalot and his entire band. Still an active guitar. I took the cable that comes out of it as a wired guitar and tucked it inside the guitar itself so I can use it as a display piece now. So this wall over here I got a little tucked in spot for PlayStation 1 games, more PlayStation 1 games, Atari, Atari 50 or 7800, sorry, Atari 7800 games, some TurboGrafx 16, Jaguar CD, Jaguar, 3DO, and then at the bottom are some Vectrex games. To the right of that, I've got some more mini guys. PS Vita and PSP games, and then my DS collection along at the bottom with 3DS all the way down at the bottom. And then to the right of that, I've got PlayStation 2 titles across here and here, with Japanese PlayStation 2 titles over here, PlayStation 3 titles, my collection of Shaq Fu titles. This is all Shaq Fu. I have a problem with that. A bunch of PC cases here for old PC games. This is all Dreamcast games here. And then below that is, let me get this out of the way, our Wii games. And then lower down here I've got some of my old PC boxes. And then Sega CD games, as well as some 32X games as well. You probably do spy a Grim Fandango box. So, I don't know how well you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can even hear me, because I'm further away from the camera, or from the microphone right now. The lighting in the closet is very nice. It's got just two fluorescent lights up above, so it kind of just shines down nicely there. That is a Grim Fandango guy there. Signed, sealed Walter Day card, Gorillas, holding up some extra space. A bunch of old flattened out. If you're a fan of big box PC games, I have a lot of my old big box PC boxes here, all nicely flattened. Ones that I wanted to keep that I didn't want to throw away. Me, etc., I don't really know the approximate value of the collection, and exactly like he's saying, that's probably a good reason why, another reason why I want to catalog it. It'd be nice to have an idea of what I've got going on here. I do have a Framemeister Namus, and I've already used it in the past. I started doing some streaming of some of my older stuff, and yeah, I've got a Framemeister. I've got some SCART RGB cables off of that, and I've done some of that. I'd like to do more, but you know, it's a mixed bag of doing a bunch of stuff. Okay, so up here I've got my original Xbox collection. Below that is the 360 collection, which is pretty large. And then below that we break into Genesis games over there in box, with Genesis games loose, kind of scattered back behind that in the corner. Some extra empty boxes for Super Nintendo games that I don't have games for, or I already have games for, and they're just extras that I've accumulated. I've got my boxed Game Boy and Color Game Boy and GBA games down here. And that is most of it. Over to this side, I've got a bunch of extra stuff. This table's kind of jammed in here because this used to be my computer desk, but now is not. So I keep extra controllers and cables in here for things, and I've got larger controllers and some systems, like I've got a Vectrix right there. I keep Beatmania controllers up there, right here next to the Vectrix. I've got a Paradise controller for PS2 right above that in box. Virtual Boy is right here in Blockbuster carrying case. Up above that higher, I've got DJ Hero controllers, Samba de Amigo controllers, a full-size Poppin' Music controller as well. On the bottom, I've got some extra consoles that are not being used because they're just there more as spares. Atari 2600, Super Nintendos, N64s, original Nintendos, GameCube, just some extra spares in case the need comes up. Going across the top, I've also got some extra Amiibo figures, and there's the Lego Dimensions guy. Controller for Steel Battalion for the original Xbox. Some Penny Arcade paraphernalia, some extra plush dudes. And that wraps up this little room over here. I pretty much... Hey, Mr. Boom Blaster, how's it going? I felt the same way. I got rid of a handful of my old PC boxes, but I kept a bunch of them, the ones that I really did not want to get rid of because they were too, like, memorable. How much is it worth now? I mean, it varies. The nice thing is a lot of the older stuff. I mean, a lot of it I bought new. The stuff that I've collected, like in the last probably 5-6 years, has been stuff that's all gone up in price since I bought it, which has been very nice. Hey, you noticed Flat Eric. Very few people probably know who that is. But yes, I have my own Flat Eric doll up there. Nice eye. Awesome, Cyranex. Let's see here. I could probably use a light to better show off this area here. So some extra art and whatnot on the walls over here. I don't know that well that's showing up. Metroid art. Some Punch-Out, little 3D-ish art. Some Miss Pac-Man art. I've got a series of 5 posters along the top there, all of very minimalized art, but 5 different games that I've enjoyed over time. And it's a nice little art series. Let's see here. Ugh. Set that down real quick. Okay. That shows up a little better. I've got an Angry Video Game Nerd collection section here with Angry Video Game Nerd art there. This is the actual copy of Elmo's Number Journey he owned that he used for his review on it that he signed. I got that from a charity auction. Signed poster for contributing to the AVGN movie, and then some extra signed games that I got him to sign of mine. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and a boxed copy of Mill Secret Castle. Here is my Killer 7 Shrine, a game for the GameCube and PS2, but preferably on the GameCube. Some windowed art that I put together myself of the different characters, and then some commissioned art that I had done. One here of all the 7, or technically 8 characters, and then one here of 3 of my favorite, hand-drawn art there. Some JJ pins. I have 2 triple header. Love a Simpsons-like tutorial. Perhaps someday, Cyranex. Dialed In has definitely caught my eye. So over here I've got some extra stuff. And I could actually run through all the consoles and things that are tucked away in all these little cubbies. They're all full of consoles and whatnot. But all these guys over here are for housing controllers of different systems to help keep myself organized for the most part. A few things that I really like. I got some extra little arts over here. Gnome guy, which to me it could be from a few things, but I'm always going to remember the gnome from Half-Life 2, from one of the episodes where there's an achievement for carrying the freaking gnome from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game, which was just a horrific ordeal, but I did it anyway. Lemmings, some more Suda51, No More Heroes art from No More Heroes 2. This was a custom request. And then I've got this guy here, which is amazing. This is from, I should say, No More Heroes as well. And this is a one-of-a-kind handmade statue that I believe I saw on Kotaku many years ago. And I basically asked the guy, hey, that is amazing. What's it going to take for me to buy that from you? And I was able to come up with a price that we were both okay with. And so I've got this one-of-a-kind Travis Touchdown statue figurine, which has got mobile articulation to it. And even art on the shirt there. Not focusing all that great, but yeah, there it is. And then some extra stuff scattered about here or there. Some extra art above this TV setup here. Little 3D Zelda Shadowbox art from Link to the Past. Some Pac-Man art here, which is really beautiful. Looks much better in person. And then that kind of wraps back around to the spot where we were before. And yeah, all these 6 cubby hole underneath are filled with consoles that are all connected to the TVs with switchers and whatnot in the back. Hey Cyranex, thanks for stopping by, man. Yes, I have. In terms of Shadows of the Damned, played that on the 64, or not 64, sorry, Xbox 360. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Alright. So there's a tour, not so much of a quick tour, but a tour. There's a lot going on in this particular room. Let me situate this back. It's taken a lot of time to organize all this stuff in a way that actually was convenient and usable like this. But I mean, I've rearranged this room a bunch of times. I originally kept board games in the closet area. That's moved to a different location to make space for more games. I used to have a ton of console boxes all up in the closet area as well. I moved those out, and I actually lined the top walls of the garage with the boxes. They're all empty basically for the most part. And so that opened up more space in there, so I was able to organize better. And, you know, I was able to make more room, but then jam more shelving units in there. And then I run out of space again, and now I've still got games sitting on the floor, you know, stacked up over here that need to be reorganized and filed away. But I've hit a point of saturation a little bit where I don't buy as many games as I used to. As far as collecting goes, I've more or less found most of anything I know that I'd want. It generally turns into, hey, I'll pick a genre or a console that I would be interested in learning more about, and maybe there's games that I don't know about yet, and I'll try to hunt some of those down. So that tends to be where I end up finding a lot of games now that I don't have. But yeah, there we go. So with all these games all over the place, I felt I would like to catalog what I do have once again, because I'll run into situations, I'll be out at a game store and I'll forget exactly what I've got or what condition it is, or, you know, oh, do I have it with a manual, or do I have a empty box, or what components am I missing? One more thing I can show you, especially in Human Beatdown, for the noticing the Suda51 stuff. I do have a quite rare Dan Smith red resin figurine that was made in short supply a long time ago. Unfortunately, like a few months ago, I had him on a shelving unit over there, and he accidentally took a tumble, so his gun, which is right here, ended up breaking off, and I've got it. I still have the gun piece that broke off, but unfortunately, a little bit of that had broken off. Other than that, he's still in fantastic condition. I would presume that with a little bit of glue done properly, this should be able to be reattached without too much of a problem. It's the type of thing that I only saw one on eBay that's ever been on there and sold. I have no idea how much value this thing would bring today, as I don't know if there's a whole lot of these around and available for people to get. But anybody who's a big fan of Killer 7 or Suda51 games, this is kind of I would say, a pretty sweet collectible. So I was pretty upset with myself when I knocked him over and I found that gun end tip broke off a bit. Yeah, the Hack Saga is expensive. Luckily for me, I'm not as big into RPGs, so that kind of keeps stuff like that in check a bit. So, all right, let's do a few more games. We'll do the Sega Saturn set I've got here, and apparently dinner's done and waiting for me. Even though I'm not that hungry right now, but I will probably do these, and then I'm going to have some dinner. appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully you enjoyed the tour. Alright, so let's go through and see what we've got here. My Sega Saturn collection is a bit on the pricey side for the most part because a fellow Twitch goer and TurboGrafx was trying to sell off some of his collection to get it dialed in, and I helped him in that by buying a bunch of games off of him that were kind of costly, but I was able to get a very good price for that, and I'm helping someone get himself to a pinball machine, so kind of a win-win situation, I'd say. So first game is Estal, and all these are complete in box and very good shape. I'll say no blemishes, because it really gets to the point where if you're talking about, you do have condition of manual, even though it's a disc, there's condition of manual, condition of which is basically your cover, and then your back side of the game. There are condition reasonings to all this. Get in there. So I'll call that no blemishes. They don't have Japanese games in Human Beatdown. I looked for Sin and Punishment for the 64, which I have a complete in box copy of. They don't have that. So I'm not going to be able to do everything, but this is going to at least help me get an idea of what I've got and keep me in check. Alright. So we got a stall in there. The next one is Burning Rangers, which good condition. This is a much shorter list, so I'm not too concerned. So here's another complete in box, no blemishes. This one's a bit expensive. Die Hard Arcade, complete in box. I'm not considering the foam, which there's a foam piece that goes over the disc, as something I'm too concerned about, just because yeah, the only way to know for sure in Human Beatdown is to go eBay. I mean, to be honest, these prices off price charting are eBay sales based, which is the same thing I would normally do to find out what people are buying for it when some sells. But it's nice to have it all in one place, and this is the only place that I know of where you can easily catalog like this, and it's got prices pulling that are something that I would consider viable, reasonable prices. No blemishes. This one's doing good. Alright, Guardian Heroes. Complete. Looks good. No blemishes. Alright. Next one is In the Hunt. No blemishes. Next one is Lunacy. This is a bit of a heavier one because it's got a insert here for more than one disc. Also complete. All right, Mega Man 8 Anniversary Collector's Edition. This is one, seemed like the right person asked me, do you think it's worth picking up a Dreamcast, and what are the kind of greatest hits for it? I would say it's definitely worth picking up a Dreamcast. I've really enjoyed my Dreamcast. I bought it back when the Sega Sports Edition was available. Back when Shenmue was basically out, when that came out. Because that's one of the reasons why I bought it, was to get Shenmue. But there's a lot of fun games on the Dreamcast. I have very good memories of playing that. I don't play it so much anymore, although it's a system I'm all for revisiting on some streams. And some of the games still look pretty good by today's standards as well. It's not a soup, and plus it's apparently, and I haven't done this myself, but it's apparently one of the systems that are very easy to hack in terms of playing Dreamcast ripped games on there. I mean, if I was going to play Rez, I would honestly probably I would tell you to play the HD version on the 360. Unless you really, really want to play it on a Dreamcast controller. I originally played Rez on the PS2 instead of the Dreamcast. Skies of Arcadia, I played that. I have that on Dreamcast. I also have it for the GameCube. It comes down to what controller you kind of want to play it on. Mega Man 8. Rez on the PS4. I kind of feel like the HD 360 version might be one of the better ways to go. I enjoy playing it on the VR, although you get some extra stuff by doing it the other way. Alright, Saturn Bomberman. Another highly desired Saturn game. See, there's some... I'd have to go over to my Dreamcast games. But I really like some of the... there's a lot of other games that I really liked on Dreamcast. Hold on. Now I gotta go grab them. Alright, here's my old case that I used for Dreamcast and PC games. Sword of the Berserk, fantastic game on Dreamcast. Definitely worth playing. I did not even know Berserk was a series back when I picked it up, but the game itself was a blast. I enjoyed Toy Commander. As silly as it sounds, it's still a fun game to play. I mean, at the time I played like Rayman 2 on there. I'm even guilty of having the fishing controller with Sega Bass Fishing and Sega Marine Fishing. The rhythm game player in me really enjoyed Samba de Amigo. I've got a pair of controllers. Back then it was awesome to be able to have like that style of arcade feel experience as a console. Yes, it is the manga anime Berserk. Exactly. And I didn't even know it was a manga anime back then. It was still super appealing. Crazy Taxi, always a fun one to play. You've got Shenmue as well. Space Channel 5. For rhythm games, if you enjoy your rhythm games that are weird. A series that I enjoyed, and you know, I'm not much of a racing fan, but the Tokyo Extreme Racer series I felt was fun to play, especially back then. I don't know how well it holds up to today, but I had a lot of fun playing it in the past. Obviously, Jet Grind Radio. Huge fan of this, but you can pick it up so many different ways nowadays. But I like the original much more than I like the Jet Grind Radio Future, or Jet Set Radio Future, I should say. That came out on the Xbox. One that was a lot of fun as well, Revolt. That was a fun game. Skies of Arcadia, I have that as well. And then I have some other ones that I don't have in here. The rest of this is all PC games. From 90s, early 2000s. Some good memories there. You can still go get dinner in a thunderstorm. It is like a slot car simulator. You're not playing as a slot car, but it's basically an RC car. But it's got weapons and stuff, so it's got some battle aspects to it. One other thing that really set the Dreamcast apart for me was that I had a VGA box back in the day, so I could hook it up to a PC monitor, and it made it look amazing. Not all the games worked with that, but a lot of them did, and I played a lot of them on a PC monitor. And, you know, consider back then you didn't have HDMI. Dreamcast, when it came out, was one of the best looking systems there was, and nothing else had the resolution and had the sharpness as using that VGA box with the Dreamcast. I'm sure there's other better ways to hook it up now, but that still is an amazing way to play these games. Alright, Sonic Jam. So yeah, to answer your question, is it worth it to get a Dreamcast? Sure. I say so. Sonic Jam. So we mentioned earlier about I didn't have Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles, but Sonic Jam allows you to play Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic & Knuckles. Plus, it lets you connect the games, stack them onto the Sonic & Knuckles game itself to give you that full experience. And then the last one I've got here is Virtual Cop 2. Oop. A little bit of a broken top. Missing a little bit there. I'm going to put normal wear and I'll put a note in. Broken hinge on top. Yeah, I do have Virtual Boy as well. Not a ton of stuff. Maybe like half of the games. But ones that I liked. I played it quite a bit back when I had it. I played a lot of Mario Tennis on it, to be honest. I liked it. I liked playing Mario Tennis on it. It was a good time. I doubt it's in there, but we're going to check anyway. I've got Radiant Silvergun for Sega Saturn Japanese. I don't believe it would be... Oh, they do have it. Look at that. So I guess they do have a few import games. Just not a lot. So I do have Radiant Silvergun. Game box manual, no blemishes. All is well. Hey, Buffalo. How's it going? I doubt they have... do they have the action replay on here? No, okay. About time. Sega Saturn. So I also probably need to add the system in. Sega Saturn console. Console, nothing else. I'll say normal wear. I don't have Panzer Dragoon Saga because, in all honesty, if I had it, I probably wouldn't end up playing it. It's a bit too much RPG for my take. So, give me some feedback. You guys, are you enjoying just this laid-back IRL stream of me documenting games? Would you want me to sign back on and do more of this later after I eat some food? Tell me what you think. Clockwork Knight. Good question. I do not, but I actually... Clockwork Knight was a Sega Saturn game, I believe. That's correct, right? And I don't have it, although it was one I was considering getting, but I hear that Clockwork Knight 2 is better than the first one, and if you're going to get one and you don't have either, you're probably best off getting the second one. Is that correct? See, I had chances to pick up Saga back when it was 300. And that's kind of like the time frame when I was picking a lot of stuff up. And then now a lot of it's doubled or tripled in price. Part pinball, part chill, cataloging. Unfortunately, I don't have that much in the way to catalog for pinball machines. So that would be a short-lived thing. I might just leave this here, and after I eat, come back and just run through my PS4 and GameCube games, which is going to take a hot minute. But I got a pretty decent GameCube collection going on. I've got a lot of PS4 games. So you're enjoying this way too much? Excellent. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. It's something that I wanted to do, and it kind of helps motivate me a little bit more to do it if I'm sitting here and you guys are chilling with me. That's fun too. Sounds like you had yourself a good deal there, Buffalo. Kevin's got the monopoly on the Jaguar games. He can retire on Jaguar. So I am going to sign off.